You ever step back into your own house after years away and realize you don't recognize a damn thing? Not the smell, not the way the light falls on the peeling wallpaper, not even the faces that are supposed to be your family? That's what hit me that night. Harder than any deployment, any war zone. I'd barely set my duffel down when I saw my daughter, Ellie, 10 years old, tiny and pale in that oversized t-shirt, setting a plate of white rice, a few tired veggies, and half a hard-boiled egg in front of a locked door. "Mom, I'm leaving your food here." "Okay," she whispered like she was scared the house itself might hear her. And then she tiptoed away, not knowing I was watching. Like this was some sacred ritual, something she'd done 100 times. I just stood there, frozen. I wanted to call out to her, rush in, sweep her up, but all I could do was stare at that door, at that plate, and wonder what the hell was waiting behind it. Then Sabrina, my sister-in-law, the one who'd always seemed so put together, always in control, popped up behind me, rag in hand, eyes a little too cold. "You're back," she said, not a smile, not a hug. Just those words, and the hallway seemed to shrink around us. She said Elena, my wife, and Ellie had been here a while, said Elena was not well, that she kept her locked up for everyone's safety. And the way she said it, like she was reading off a grocery list, it chilled me. Ellie, she passed right by. No dad. No run into my arms. Just this empty look. Like she barely remembered me at all. I tried to nod, to smile, but she was already gone. Sabrina kept talking. "It's for Ellie's safety. Elena won't see anyone." All these neat explanations. And my head started spinning. I just wanted to see my wife. How long had she been in there? Why was my daughter leaving food like a jailer? Sabrina just shrugged, saying Elena talked crazy sometimes. Thought people were poisoning her. I heard the words, but none of it felt real. That night, we ate dinner in silence. Ellie never came out. Sabrina said she was used to it. After Sabrina went to do dishes, I checked the plate. Untouched. Rice cold. The egg shriveled. I just sat down in the hallway, staring at the door, listening. The old house creaked and groaned. But nothing else. It was like all the pain in that place was packed tight behind that one door. Later, tucking Ellie in, I watched her clutching that ratty stuffed bear, breathing slow. Trying to be brave. Downstairs, Sabrina poured us tea, still keeping up the act. Offering mint, just in case I still liked it. Talking in circles about Elena's moods, her fears. How she'd once scratched herself raw in the dark. "She thinks the world is toxic," Sabrina said, her voice low. "Ellie hasn't gone to school in months." I wanted to yell, to smash something. But all I could do was clench my fists and stare. You know what's the worst? Remembering the first cracks. Years ago, Elena walked out, said she couldn't stand the silence. Said I'd stopped seeing her. I forgave her back then, thought love could fix anything. Now I wasn't sure. Sabrina described Elena's slide. No more going outside, keeping Ellie hidden away. Locked doors all the time. Ellie, caught in the middle, loving her mom but scared, not saying a word. So I waited. Waited for the moment, for a sign. One night, after Sabrina left for the market, I finally asked Ellie if she wanted to see her mom. She nodded, scared, whispered, "Andy says not to." But later that night, I saw the door handle wasn't even locked, just a rusty padlock hanging there. I pressed my ear to the wood. Nothing. Just silence, thick and heavy. Next morning, while cleaning, I found an old notebook crammed behind kitchen junk. Elena's name on the cover, pages of prescription slips for heavy sedatives, notes about increasing dosage. Why would Sabrina hide that? That afternoon, when I showed it to her, she played it cool, said Elena was broken when she arrived, that she'd screamed about people watching her, tried to run out in the rain. You were gone. Ethan, I didn't want to hurt you more. But nothing added up. That night, I asked Ellie if she ever heard anything from her mom's room. She froze, then whispered, "Knocking. Every night. From inside." I didn't sleep after that. Every little sound in the house set my nerves on fire. Until one night, the silence was just wrong. I heard soft footsteps, a choked sob. Ellie, standing in the dark. Eyes wide. "Daddy, Mommy's not eating anymore." That was it. I ran, fumbled with the key ring, and finally, click, the lock opened. You ever open a door and feel like your whole world just tilted? Elena was curled in the corner, nothing but bones, hair matted, eyes hollow. For a second, she didn't recognize me. Then she collapsed in my arms, crying without a sound, like she'd run out of tears years ago. When I carried her out, Ellie was waiting, her face crumpled. Then she ran, hugging her mother's legs, both of them trembling. The door behind us snapped shut. Sabrina stood there, her calm mask on, eyes wild. You misunderstood. She's sick. I was protecting Ellie. But Ellie, God, Ellie, she blurted. Auntie said if Mommy made noise, she wouldn't be allowed to eat. That broke me. Sabrina lost it, started shouting about how she'd been the one to care for Ellie, how I'd never seen her, how she'd waited for me. I told her, you need to leave. And for the first time, she just broke. Packed her things, slammed the door, gone. In the hospital, the doctors confirmed what I already knew. Elena wasn't insane, just starved, traumatized. Police came, neighbors talked. Turns out the woman next door saw Sabrina using the padlock. Saw Ellie waiting by the door, silent, scared. Amelia, an old friend, now a lawyer, took the case. Every scrap of evidence, faked mental health records, Ellie's drawings of the locked door, an audio recording of Sabrina screaming at Elena, all of it. The town was shocked, the courtroom packed, people holding signs, freedom for Elena. At the hearing, Sabrina tried to spin the story, claimed she was protecting Ellie from a dangerous mother, but there were no real medical records, nothing but her word. Ellie was the final witness. She drew a picture, herself leaving food for her mom, scribbled, "Mom isn't crazy, she's just been locked away." That hit everyone. Judge granted me guardianship. Sabrina was charged. Elena sent to a recovery center. You'd think that was the end, but real life doesn't tie up so neat. A month later, I'd visit Elena. She'd started to heal, hair growing back, eyes sometimes clearing. Ellie wrote an essay about how she'd once felt invisible, how now she was seen again. In time, Elena confessed everything, her own mistakes, her regrets, and how she wanted to be a mother again. For real. One afternoon, Ellie put down a plate, not for her mother behind a door, but for a stray cat on the porch. Elena knelt beside her, arms wrapped around that little girl, and whispered, "Maybe I could be the first one it learns to trust." That's when I knew we were healing. Not fixed, not perfect, but real. Even Sabrina, locked up now, but Ellie wrote a letter asking for mercy. Not for Sabrina's sake, but so none of us would live trapped by hate. I signed it. The court reduced her sentence. She'll get help. Justice, real, messy, human justice, was done. Now, we're not some perfect family, never will be. But the doors in this house, they're open. There's laughter, mess, love. And if there's one thing I want you to take from all this, it's that sometimes what looks like protection is just another prison. That forgiveness is the only way out. And that no matter how broken you feel, you're never invisible if even one person keeps looking for you. So tell me, what do you think? Was Sabrina evil, or just broken? Does everyone deserve a second chance? And when was the last time you knocked on a door, waited, and truly listened? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about what's right, what's wrong, and whether there's really any such thing as a perfect family. Because, maybe being real is the best we can ever hope for.